What's going on, guys? We are back with another video, and this time I'm going to show you a property that my client purchased off market, sight unseen. So what this means is that as a buyer, you're going to be assuming a lot of risk. You don't know what the condition of the upper unit is. You don't know what the condition of the lower unit is. You know, you haven't met the tenants. This house was tenanted, so you don't know if the tenants are going to stay or if they're going to leave. And lastly, you're not really aware of the situation of the basement. There could be leaks. The ceiling heights may not work for you if you're looking to do a duplex conversion. So what I want to do is talk to you briefly about some of the risks that we had to assume when buying this property, and then take you inside and show you if assuming those risks, you know, paid off, and kind of give you a sense of what the inside of this property looks like. So as I mentioned to you, we purchased this property sight unseen, and as a result, we had to assume some risks. So what were some of the risks? One was the property was tenanted, and we hadn't really spoken to the tenant, so we didn't know what their scenario was. We didn't know if they were going to stay or if they were going to leave. But essentially what we did was we knew how much their monthly lease was, which was around $1,500 a month. What we assumed was that our risk from a dollar amount perspective could be as low as $1,500 cash for keys, or it could be as high as, let's say, $3,500 a month being cash for keys. So giving them 2 months rent and some additional funds in order to satisfy them to give us vacant possession. So that was first risk. First risk was property was tenanted, and there was a dollar amount associated with getting the tenants out. Risk number two was the overall condition of the house. We didn't know what upstairs looked like. We didn't know what the basement looked like. And what that can create for us is risk of, the property being damaged inside, whether it be from a cosmetic perspective or from a structural perspective. Putting a dollar amount onto that, if there was a water leak in the basement or some sort of foundation issue that had to be fixed, I budgeted approximately $20,000 of waterproofing that would have to be spent in order to get any water out of the basement and waterproof the basement. So we essentially had to be comfortable with assuming that the basement foundation required some work, and we eventually had to spend some money on that. And the third risk that we had to consider was in the basement, was the fact that we're not sure what the ceiling heights in the basement are, and as a result, we don't know if we can actually achieve the 6'5" and 6'11" requirement that the city of Oshawa has in order to do the duplex conversion. So those were three of the risks that we had to assume, and right away, the sum of that risk that we had to assume was somewhere around $30,000 to $40,000. So I had to make sure that we were getting this property at a good enough deal that even if we spent $30,000 to $40,000 to bring this property to a livable point, that this project would still be profitable with a $100,000 renovation. All right, so what we're gonna do now, come on in, we're gonna go inside, we're gonna take a look at the upper unit and really see if this purchase sight unseen paid off. So we're gonna take a look at this property for the first time, get a sense of what the upper unit looks like, what the lower unit looks like, the conditions. We're gonna see if the basement has some water leak issues, and so on. So let's go on in. All right, come on in. So we come in. So this is essentially what my client purchased without seeing. So, you come in and it's your typical bungalow. You have your living area with a nice bay window. On the other side of the room, we have the kitchen. This area is pretty closed off, but again, it's a cosmetic fix, so that shouldn't be that big of an issue for us. The door's in decent shape. The kitchen, this is a fairly open kitchen with older cabinets, of course, and older appliances. But again, these are just cosmetic fixes that, you throw some money at and things just magically get better. So as we walk to the back of the property, we have one bathroom and you have 3 bedrooms along the back. So if we walk into one of these bedrooms, we are going to notice that right away, the windows are older windows, and we may potentially need new windows in this property. which is fine because it's a huge value add when you're doing a renovation, and it will really bring and lift the value of the property. But otherwise, looking at the ceilings, I don't see any evidence of water. You know, we have odd colors in each room. That's an easy fix. Paint. The floors are creaking a bit. Again, that's a fairly easy fix. You know, get rid of the floors, secure your subfloors, and then put in a new layer of vinyl flooring over top. And we see that the hallway has tiles in here, which is great, not a big issue. It can be fixed fairly easily. So what we can do is we can make our way to the basement. So as we come to the basement, we see there are two doors. So this door over here takes you to the lower unit. So let's walk through this unit and get a sense of what's going on. Okay, cool. So there is an open concept living / kitchen. Back here we should have one bedroom. Do we? Yep, there's one bedroom. A typical bedroom that you would see. We have a window here, so that's great. I'm not getting any sense of moisture or anything, so you know, this side of the house is okay. I don't think there are any leaks. I'm looking at the outside walls. You know, everything seems fine. I don't see any bubbling on the drywall or on the paint. So let's walk over. What am I seeing? I'm seeing a lot of windows down here, which brings in natural light. That's great. Tenants love that. You know, got a simple kitchen. And there's also a big bathroom in there, which is a bonus for us. So not bad. And then we walk to the other side of the property, the unfinished portion. And we are seeing some of the risks that we were talking about. So this portion of the basement is unfinished. As we walk to the back of the property, we see that there's an oil furnace, which is an old school furnace. It's not high efficiency, so that will likely have to be replaced at some point. I'm looking at some of this brick foundation here. They painted it at some point, but as you can see, some of the brickwork over here is peeling, the paint's peeling, so there may have been, you know, some sort of water issue at some point. Behind the furnace, the ground is a little wet, and same with underneath the oil tank. We are by Lake Ontario, and this area is a bit more, I guess what you can call, you know, sees more rain, is a bit more wet. So you are going to notice a bit of the water issue. What else we got here? Okay, and we got some sort of, oh yeah, there we go. So we got a cold cellar here, and if you look inside, it looks like there might be some mold issues in the cold cellar, which, you know, is an unknown, right? So we bought this property without seeing it, and these are some of the risks that we're gonna run into. All right, so I think what we can do is we can go outside, take a look at the backyard, and that will, oh yeah, so there we go. So if we look here, this is an outside wall, so perhaps there's some water issues there as well that need to be addressed, but, you know, it comes with the territory. So one of the selling features of this property was the lot size. So we have approximately a 66 foot frontage, and we have approximately 135 to 160. It's an irregular shaped lot. So let's take a look at this backyard. This backyard is huge, as you can see. Clearly, we have a lot of space here. Whether you want to split this backyard for your tenants, that is an option. Right down the middle, give one side to one tenant, one side to another tenant. Or if you wanted to hold on to this property long term and try and capitalize on the potential garden suite legislation that's coming in, you have plenty of space here to make that happen. So that's phenomenal. And there's a shed here for storage. You can either use the shed or give the shed to your tenants to use as storage, or you can actually lease it out to a third party for around 100, 150 bucks a month. And if we look at the back of the house, you know, the shingles on this side, on the western view, look okay, but I know I saw some on the eastern side of the property that looked like they were wearing off, so the shingles at some point will have to be replaced as well. All right, guys, so we spoke about what the risks were of buying this property sight unseen, and I tried to put some dollar amounts associated to the risk. We got to see the inside of the property. In my opinion, this property is going to need still around 100 to 110K in renovations. So here's the finale. We purchased this property for $590 with $100,000 renovation. We're at $690. Let's call it $700K for miscellaneous. These type of properties at this lot size, at this location, they're selling for around $870 to $900K. So there's still a good profit margin left in the property. Now, if someone wants to sell this property, you know, the approach has to change. But in my opinion, if I was to buy this property, I would fix it, hold it, rent it out with great rents. And down the line, I would look to add the garden suite to the backyard, as you saw. Lastly, you know, we're talking about the location. We are in central Oshawa. We are very close to the lake. So in terms of attracting tenants, I don't think you're gonna have an issue. You know, you're gonna advertise the fact that it's a big property, big lot size, and you're close to the lake. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something new. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to my channel so you can keep up with the most and up-to-date videos that I post. Thank you very much.